Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. Tonight, we'll be taking a look at some of the most pressing global news stories from around the world. From ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and Iran to shifting alliances between nations, there's been no shortage of developments that are shaping the future of international relations. We'll break down the latest on U.S. military aid to Ukraine, reactions from politicians, and what it means for regional stability. We'll also explore why China is taking a closer look at global maritime chokepoints. Let's get started with our top news stories tonight. According to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, the United States is continuing to supply military equipment to Ukraine despite rising tensions with Iran. U.S. still delivering weapons to Ukraine despite Iran war, Zelenskyy says. In a recent statement, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has confirmed that the U.S. continues to deliver military aid to his country, despite ongoing tensions with Iran. The situation escalated after Iranian forces shot down a Ukrainian passenger plane in January, killing all 176 people on board. Zelenskyy's comments come as Ukraine is facing increased pressure from Russia, which has been involved in a long-standing conflict with Ukraine since 2014. The ongoing conflict has led to significant human suffering and economic losses for the country. The U.S. has maintained its commitment to providing military aid to Ukraine, citing concerns over Russian aggression in the region. According to Zelenskyy, the latest shipment of arms includes advanced anti-tank missiles and other equipment that will help Ukraine strengthen its defenses against Russian forces. Zelenskyy's comments also highlight the complexities of international relations in the Middle East and Eastern Europe. The situation with Iran has strained ties between Washington and Tehran, while Russia's actions in Ukraine have led to increased tensions with Western countries. The delivery of military aid to Ukraine is a sensitive issue, as it may be seen as fueling further conflict in the region. However, Zelenskyy's statement suggests that the U.S. is committed to supporting Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The situation remains fluid, with ongoing diplomatic efforts aimed at reducing tensions between major world powers. Following a shocking statement from Representative Raja Krishnamoorthi, we take a closer look at the congressman's scathing warning about the potential consequences of war with Iran. Representative Raja Krishnamoorthi has described the conflict with Iran as a colossal disaster that's having far-reaching consequences for Americans and the global economy. The House Oversight and Intelligence Committee member argues that Tehran now wields significant influence over the world's energy supply through its control of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway that connects the Gulf to the open ocean. The conflict began in January when an American drone was shot down by Iranian forces, sparking retaliatory attacks on Iranian military sites. The U.S. has since imposed crippling sanctions on Iran, which has led to a significant rise in oil prices and costs for everyday Americans, from gasoline to groceries. Krishnamoorthi claims that the war is also having devastating effects on farmers who rely heavily on imported goods, as well as depleting the U.S. military's munition stockpiles. Krishnamoorthi warns that the conflict should be ended immediately through diplomacy, rather than further escalation. We need to find a way to resolve this situation peacefully and avoid further economic devastation for American families, he said. The representative is calling on his colleagues in Congress to join him in advocating for an end to the war and exploring alternative solutions. The stakes are high, as the conflict has already led to increased tensions between the U.S. and Iran, with both sides accusing each other of aggression. With the situation continuing to unfold, Krishnamoorthi's warnings serve as a reminder that the consequences of this war could be felt for years to come. Following a recent escalation in tensions, reports are emerging that Iran has significantly increased its mine deployments in the strategic waterway. According to sources, including a U.S. official and a person familiar with the matter, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy has deployed more mines in the Strait of Hormuz this week. The Strait of Hormuz is a critical waterway that connects the Persian Gulf to the open ocean, and it is home to some of the world's most important oil shipping lanes. The mine deployment marks an escalation in tensions between Iran and the United States. In recent months, Iranian forces have been attacking commercial ships transiting the strait, including tankers from the United States, the United Kingdom, and other countries. These attacks have raised concerns about the safety of global oil supplies. The situation is further complicated by the U.S. Navy's tightening of its naval blockade on Iran. In a statement on social media platform Truth Social, President Trump directed the U.S. Navy to increase its presence in the region in response to the mine deployments. The move is seen as a show of force and a warning to Iran not to continue attacking commercial ships. The military standoff in the Strait of Hormuz matters because it has significant implications for global oil supplies and economic stability. The world's major economies rely on the strait for access to oil, which could be disrupted by further attacks or blockades. As tensions between Iran and the United States escalate, the situation is becoming increasingly volatile and unpredictable. As tensions between the world's two largest economies continue to escalate, a critical question arises. What implications does the U.S.'s growing focus on global maritime chokepoints have for China? China should be wary of the U.S. focus on global maritime chokepoints as part of its broader strategy to contain China and Russia. According to an analyst, the ongoing conflict in Iran serves as a prime example of this emphasis. The war in Iran is largely seen as a strategic move by the United States to secure its interests in the Middle East and beyond. Analysts believe that Washington's priority is not to directly engage with Iran, but rather to contain China's growing influence in the region. The U.S. has long been concerned about China's expanding maritime presence, particularly in the South China Sea. The latest development in this regard is the release of U.S. security documents last year, which appeared to prioritize the Western Hemisphere and signal a shift in Washington's focus towards containing China. However, experts argue that these documents were merely a feint designed to distract from the true nature of U.S. policy. In reality, the U.S. is increasingly focused on securing its maritime chokepoints, including those in the Middle East and Asia. This strategy aims to limit China's access to global trade routes and restrict its ability to project power at sea. As tensions between the U.S. and China continue to escalate, Beijing should take note of this development and prepare a response. Establishing a formidable maritime force and seeking to form maritime communication mechanisms with all countries, including the U.S., is essential for China to counter Washington's seafaring containment strategy. By doing so, Beijing can ensure its own national security interests are protected and maintain a balance of power in the increasingly complex global landscape. As the UK and US navigate complex diplomatic relations, a surprise development from President Trump has sent shockwaves through the world of international politics. We're seeing a significant development in US-UK relations as King Charles prepares for his highly anticipated state visit to the United States. The trip, which will take place from Monday to Thursday, has been months in the making and is seen as an opportunity for both nations to strengthen their ties. However, tensions have flared between the two countries in recent weeks, particularly over the Iran war. U.S. President Donald Trump has been critical of British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's decision not to join the U.S.-Israeli military action against Iran, which was launched on February 28. This move has created a rift between the two allies, with many questioning why Starmer chose not to support his counterpart. Meanwhile, the late U.S. sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's scandals continue to cast a shadow over the visit. The British monarchy is facing scrutiny over its close relationship with Epstein, who was known for his connections to powerful figures in both the UK and the US. Despite these challenges, Trump believes that King Charles's visit could absolutely help repair strained ties between the two countries. In an interview with the BBC, Trump stated that he thinks Charles is a fantastic man, and that his visit will be a wonderful thing. The president's comments suggest that he is hoping to put aside their differences and focus on building a stronger relationship between the US and UK. As King Charles prepares to embark on this historic visit, many are watching closely to see how it plays out. Will the trip help to mend the rift between the two nations, or will it be marred by controversy? Only time will tell. That's all for today's news recap. We'll continue to bring you updates on the latest developments in Ukraine, Iran, China, and more. Thank you for watching. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll keep you informed with breaking news and analysis from around the world.